Good evening and welcome to Haz'el Inspirations. I want to thank all our listeners for joining us this evening and thank you for all your support. Tonight's episode, we're going to focus on the tribulations of life from a woman's perspective and how we have survived. I want to welcome two guests this evening. I want to welcome Miss Compassionate and I want to welcome Miss Thoughtful. These two women have embraced life challenges and they're willing to share their story of resilience, strength, and survival that define a woman's experience today. We are all faced with challenges throughout our life, but some are faced with challenges every day, every moment of their life. So our guests tonight, Ms. Compassionate and Ms. Thoughtful, have faced and overcome significant obstacles in their life, and they're willing to share, along with myself, how we can strengthen others. I ask you to please keep in mind that their journey is lessons learned and wisdom and knowledge that they wish to share. Welcome both, Ms. Compassionate and Ms. Thoughtful. I want to start off by asking, can you share a pivotal moment in your life where you face significant challenges? I'm going to open it up to you both, and I ask that you take as much time as you need and sharing those moments with us. Thank you both.
Okay. Pivotal moment. I guess life in general.
Yes, ma'am.
You could
Yes.
start life in general. You could start with your family. You know, when you're dealing with a stressful case, as I stated before, dealing with, in my case, is from a personal perspective, taking care of a parent who has dementia. And this one woman has 6 children. 6 children can't take care of this one woman, but this one woman raised 6 children. However, you don't ask for responsibilities in life. Some things are given to you because they look for the one that's responsible, or they just look for the one that they know and that's going to get the job done. And sometimes your parents put that on you. Either your parents, or either they look for that one. And so you find yourself in this seat, which I call the hot seat, the leadership seat, and you wonder, I didn't ask for this. How did I get here? And how did all this, be put in my lap before me? It doesn't matter how you got it. Your parents are looking at you to deal with. It's given to you. So now this job is given to you for you to do. They're looking for you for direction. They're looking for you to see it through. They're looking for you to be responsible and to do and honor what they wanted to get done. But for health reasons, for whatever reasons in life, they couldn't get it done. They're looking for you to finish it, to carry the torch. That is very stressful when you have, not saying that that's not part of your life, because it's just a piece of the puzzle, but you work, you have your children, your grandchildren, your husbands, your jobs. I mean, it's a lot. So you draw strength, I think, from each other, women. You draw strength by speaking on it. You draw strength by, because you never know who's walking that same path you're walking, and closed mouths don't get fed. So if I don't share with you, how can I get advice or shared knowledge? So, and you're not the only one that's going through something. Trust me. Everyone in life has a story. I always say it just depends. It depends on whether they care to share it with you. But everybody has a story. But I can go on and on. Go ahead, Miss Thoughtful.
Miss Thoughtful.
Well, I mean, that was pretty much in the realms of knowing your sources, your resource, which is God. So, and knowing Him, it gives more strength, more strength than you actually knew you had. So, I mean, in the sense of Miss Compassionate perspective, and where she's coming from with her responsibility and the things that she's dealing with right now. I'm in the same boat. I'm like the middle child of 5, and I have no parents, but
Mm-hmm.
I have a sickly brother that, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I seem to be the one who is the nurse, the aide, the home, the person, the go-to person, because I worry. I don't think about my family, but it's what I carry, it's what I want to bear. The Lord put that on me, I guess. And again, he said he won't put on no that much more on you than you can bear, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that burden, I mean, it's not a burden, because it's not. It's my family. I love them. I'm going to be there for them. But we have to do what we have to do. So, like she said, we're put in a position that we didn't know that it was ours. And you
Mm-hmm.
take that responsibility on, and it is a lot. It is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to do it. It has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we're not the heart of the person to not do it. So the tribulation, I mean, like, not even saying that, I don't know if I'm going off the script or wherever, if I'm on
No,
the right
no. I
track.
want you to speak
Uh,
from your heart. I want you to speak
yeah.
from,
I mean,
please.
just to reiterate what she said about the things that, again, having the struggle of being responsible for more than what, not so much of what you bargain for, but I mean,
It's a
is
lot.
this
It's
part
a
of it?
lot.
Yeah.
It's
So,
a lot.
and then you don't, I mean, if you don't have a support system, that's bad. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's
That's
the
what I
real.
want to talk about. What
Mm,
happens when you don't have that support system?
right.
What
So
happens when you are the youngest or when
uh,
you're the oldest? And like Miss Compassionate said, you have 6 siblings and you are trying to support all 6 siblings, a parent that has you have to be the caretaker for.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You have to balance your life with your family. You have to work. How does that affect you mentally?
I think that is why, unfortunately and sad to say, um, that is why our suicide rate is high.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
as Ms. Thorful say, what if you don't have, like you said, that team, that support team? You don't
Mm-hmm.
have it, so they
Mhm.
run to people. A lot of people can't take life, as the young people say, life be life, and a lot of people can't take that. And I think
Mhm.
that's why it's given. It's given to the strong, and like she said earlier, Ms. Thorful, sometimes we have strength that we don't even know we have.
Mm.
And you're like,
Mhm. Right.
you say, I don't know how I'm doing this, but I'm doing it. I don't
Yes.
know.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't know.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
I really think that is why. And then sometimes some people hold this anger. They hang this anger and mean
Yes.
and
Oh,
bitterness. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, and you let that block you from getting your blessing and block you from giving the love that you can give, because you have that anger and that bitter, because you're not getting that help. And no one
mm-hmm.
understands me. No one's listening to me.
Yeah.
No one hears me. You know,
Mhm.
where's the help? I was there for everybody. Nobody's there for me. That's when that comes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's that hate. And
Yes.
then you find yourself alone because no one wants to be around. Who wants to be around a mean person? Who wants to be around an unloving person? Every time I come to you, complain, you're mean, you're angry. Who wants to?
Yeah.
No one wants that. So you find
Yeah.
yourself lonely. And so
Yeah.
you feel like you're alone in this thing. But sometimes it's like your perspective draws that loneliness, because no one wants to be around someone mean. But like I said, that's that anger, that's that suicide, that's that it's a lot. You have to, like she said, your strength comes from the Lord. You have to. I don't know how
Know
without
him.
him I
You
would
have to
make
know him. Yeah. Yeah.
it. I don't know.
But sometimes we forget that even that's how we
Mm-hmm.
forget that,
We
because
do
of being
forget.
tired and because of being, just, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard to say. And, to be needed or to be leaned on or to be expected to do, and for me not to deliver makes me feel bad. So
Mhm.
maybe that's why people benefit from my heart, because I want to give, because I want to make sure everything is okay. And whatever I can
Yes.
contribute to, whatever I can contribute
Yes.
to helping a person succeed, to progress, to heal, to comfort, whatever that is that I can do, whether it's to bring you some
Mhm.
coffee, donut, because when you do those things,
Mhm.
those nice gestures, it goes a long way, right? So if I can
Mhm.
do any
Can
of those things for any person,
mhm.
then that makes me feel better. So people always say, you always this, you always that. Well, I mean, I don't know how to be anything else, but it's
Right.
like, the people who you give that to, whether they appreciate it or not, my intentions come from a good place. You're reciprocating, or you receiving it from me, whatever heart your state of heart you're in, that's not my business. But at the end of the day, I I'm used a lot, is what I'm trying to get at. And that generosity is not always appreciated, and is not
It's
reciprocated.
not reciprocated. It's not
Right. So
reciprocated the way we want it to be reciprocated.
right.
And
So I mean, it's hard. It's hard
mhm.
to continue to be who you are to people who don't appreciate or reciprocate. That's the sad part. And that's a hurtful part too. That if you don't
That
have
is.
comfort, or a shoulder, or somebody else you can call to vent to. I'm a venter. I vent. I'll call you and talk to you in a
Mhm.
minute. You ask me what time it is, I'll give you my life story in 20 minutes. I'm but
Right.
that's how it is, because that's my therapy. So if people have that tendency to share, then sometimes it wouldn't be so hard, and they wouldn't be so angry, because some of the things
Right.
that you're able to hold inside, you're able to bring out. But as long as you hold things, you hold a lot of people responsible for things that are not even their fault. So,
Mhm.
it's just, I had learned how to stop charging people for things that they weren't charged, that they weren't their charges. So again, in learning is you have to experience things first to know what was right and what was wrong, and how to do it again if it ever came up again. So the hardships in life, oh Jesus, I
Amen. And
I
you know
promise
what,
you.
Miss Thoughtful, I wanna piggyback off of that, and I hope that Miss Compassionate would chime in. We are all in the healthcare industry, so we can identify some of those traits, some of those characteristics about people, and we can identify within ourselves. One thing that we had discussed prior to coming on this episode was our ancestors. Now, I know the way that I was raised
Mhm.
back in my grandparents' time, back in my mom's time, we did not speak ill of anyone. If
Mhm.
anything was going on around us or in the house, it's like we had to have that hush hush. So we
Mhm.
concealed a lot of anger, we concealed a lot of secrets, a lot of
Mhm,
uncertainty inside of us.
mhm, mhm,
And now, through our children, we're trying to teach them a different behavior in life, more so than what we were taught. But it's hard
mhm,
to do that transition, because I struggled with it when I first had my children, because I did not know how to uh and I'm going to say this, I did not know how to embrace them and have them open to new ideas, because that's not how I was raised.
mhm.
Mhm.
I
Well,
mean,
imagine
and
me with not
if you
even having
spoke
a
out
mother
of
to raise
turn,
me. You
if
get
you
it?
spoke out of turn, we knew what the consequences was.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
how do you
I mean,
guys
even
feel about
still,
that?
with oh, I'm sorry.
No, please.
So I'm gonna say, because I didn't have my mother growing up,
Yes.
it's a different perspective, or a different angle for me. I
Mm-hmm.
learned from other people and other families that, I was around, that, kind of took me in and under their wing, and invited me into their families. And to today, I'm still families with them,
Mm-hmm.
which is very much appreciated, when that kind of thing. And I mean, just to say, even still with growing up under the abuse and the other things that have happened to me, in my upbringing, I mean, I'm glad to be the way that I am today, because it could have been
Amen.
worse. It could have been worse.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, um, Wait a minute. Just I don't know. Give me a
No,
minute.
take your time. And
That's
while
okay. I feel.
you're doing that, I want to ask a question to both of you. Do you
Mhm.
think that we are all Christians here? No matter what, and to our listeners, no matter what your faith is, please do not think that we are diminishing anyone's faith. But this
Mhm.
is our faith.
Mhm.
And this is what got us through the storms, those tribulations, those storms was storms. Now we had lightning and thunder in our storms, so we
Mhm.
didn't know how we was going to come out of there. But like Miss Thoughtful said, when you're being abused, you know, when you are being verbally abused, physically abused, all that's what you grew up with. Okay. But in the same token, I'm gonna say this, Miss Thoughtful, Miss Compassionate, it made us stronger.
Mhm.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if we hadn't went through that storm, those tribulations back then, we would not be the compassionate, resilient women we are today.
Agree.
Mhm. I
Because
see.
we
Like
are stronger. And I appreciate both of you because one, I we have a different relationship outside of this podcast, and I see the communication and strength that we build off of one another.
Mhm.
And it's not easy to open up. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not easy to open up and say that I went through this in my childhood, or I went through this in my relationship, or I went through this in my marriage, or with my parents. It's not easy to open up like that. And I think that's what's wrong with the world today, because we conceal so much. And you're right. What does it do? It turns into anger. It turns into suicide because we don't know how to cope. We don't know how to deal with it. If
Mhm.
we can find that one friend, that one true friend to open up and release ourselves, I think that we would be, and we'll be able to breathe. I think we'll be able to breathe. And that weight that we've been carrying around, it's like you're carrying around a iron anchor. The anchors
Mhm.
that they have on the ships. It seems like
Mhm.
you're just carrying that over your shoulder, and it's weighing you down. And every time you try to take a step forward, it pulls you back. If we just try to let go and lighten our load, I think that we will all be so much better in life. Please, go ahead,
I
ladies.
just feel like you can't. Okay, just to go back a little bit. I always think like you're saying how when you shared with us that you didn't know. You have these saying that these old folks say you can't ask a bald head man how to grow hair. So
Mhm.
therefore, you go to people who you seek out people who kind of went through. Like me, I love older people. The reason I love older people because they have gone where I'm trying to go. So
The wisdom, right? The
wherever
wisdom.
wisdom is being given and knowledge is being dropped, my ears open and I'm listening.
Right.
I'm always there and I'm listening. And my dad used to always tell us either you're going into a storm, you're in a storm, or you're coming out of a storm. Somewhere in
Mm-hmm.
life, you are there. Every last one of us. You just got to pay attention and just hold on. And
Mm-hmm.
you can't, you cannot, unknown territory. If you have not experienced love, if you have not
Mm-hmm.
experienced um somebody hugging you, somebody saying I love you, somebody showing you, not just telling you but showing you, because love is an action word. If you have not experienced that, then you cannot give what you don't know. You cannot, it's unknown territory to you. So, and some people, like earlier Miss Dorfel said, they don't know how to reciprocate it. See how she said, and
Yes.
now she, like her, I am a giver. I sometimes give till it hurts myself, but I find joy in giving. That's me. And
Mm.
I don't but I don't
Mm.
expect. And you know what I do when I wake up every morning? Every morning I ask the Lord to bless me with somebody, just put somebody in my way where I can bless them every day. Show me an
Yes.
opportunity. And I look for people who I know you can't bless me back. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I want to get, because that's what it's not a give and take. I want to bless you. I want to let you know that the love of the Lord is in me, and I want to share it with you. I don't want you, and I don't look for something back. I don't want you to give me. And I actually get offended when people, and my dad said most givers do. I get offended when you give me back, because I'm giving this
Yes.
to you out of my heart, out of
Yes.
love. And I want you to
Yes.
enjoy that candy. I want you to enjoy that hug. I want you to enjoy them flowers. I want you to enjoy this conversation. I want you to enjoy this love. When you leave me, you be like, wow. Like, you know,
Yes.
and me, I'm a hugger. I'm affectionate. I'm a hugger.
Yes, you are.
I like to talk. I like to hug.
She don't hug
That's
me.
that's who I
Wait
am,
a
though.
minute,
But
Miss Compassionate. She don't hug you.
Nope.
that's who I am. And my sister says to me, "This is my." And you don't let. And this is just to encourage Miss Thoughtfulness. Don't let nobody dim your light. If that's who you are and that's what you do,
Yes.
you let the Lord use you. You let Him get the glory. You keep giving. You keep shine. Let your light shine. You know why? Because sometimes you have people in the end, and that's their job. That's their job. The devil got people. We got haters. You know what I'm saying? We and we're going to
We
have them.
do.
You know what I'm saying? That's your fan. Look at that's your fan club. As long as they are
Yeah.
around, you're going to be important. That you are going to be important.
Yes.
So welcome those haters. But you keep letting your light shine, and you just keep doing what you like to do and get the good. Let the Lord get the glory. That people will glorify Him and not you. Because I look at, you are a giver. You like to, you like to be. It's like when you come in, I don't think that when you come in, you light up a room. It's like this room could,
Yes,
when
she
she walks in
does.
the room could be quiet, and it's just like, okay. And then she walks in, good morning, hey, and it's like the party's here, Miss Thoughtful's here, like, and then you be surprised how, and then she starts, and then everybody's in the room talking, they laughing, and having a good time, and and it's just, that's her spirit, and I want her to encourage her to continue to do that. Don't let no one dim that. You continue to do that. You continue to, because you don't know. Somebody needs that laugh for the day.
Somebody
Somebody needs
needs that.
somebody needed that little something that you said, that whatever that, and that's probably gonna be the laugh of the week for them. That's it. But look how you took their mind off of whatever they were going through.
Yes.
Just that little second, that little you gave her, and sometimes you give them a little hope. That little hope that you gave them. You think you didn't, but you did. I think you'd be surprised in the people that you touch. I don't think you really know the people that you touch that
Yes.
you do. And I want to
And you
encourage you to
know
keep
what?
doing it.
Yes, Miss Compassionate. Thank you for bringing that up, because Miss Thoughtful, she is absolutely right. When I see you, I know that sometimes I'll be a little bit busy, but I look forward to getting that hug, because let me tell you one thing, that magnetic energy that you're giving me, that's positive energy. And that's energy that I'm absorbing in my body, that I'm transforming to other people.
That's what
So
you want.
when those doctors and those nurses walk past me and they don't speak, I still speak. A couple weeks ago, Miss Compassionate, I bought in donuts, and I gave them to security. You know what they said to me? What is this for? I was like, well, it's just to say thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for, protecting me. Thank you for helping me when I need help. Some people think and that every time you do something nice, it has to be questioned. Why are you doing this? Or what are you looking for? Or what do you want from me? It's like you can't be genuine from your heart to say, I just want to say thank you. I just want you to know that I notice what you do for me, what you do for other people. It's not easy what we do every day. Like I said, we got this chain, this anchor on us every day from other stuff around us. But when we walk into work, we got to put on this facade like nothing is bothering us. So when Miss Thoughtful comes and gives me a hug, let me tell you, I transform. I be like, what was I just thinking about? All that negativity stuff I was thinking about, it's gone. When I see Miss Compassionate, it's gone. When I see
Mm-hmm.
other people, it's gone. Because you know why? I'm like you, Miss Compassionate. When I wake up in the morning, when I get up at 5:30 in the morning, I'm praying to God. I said, God, those that did not come with us today, bless their family. Bless those
Mm-hmm.
people that don't have food. Bless those
Mm-hmm.
people that don't have a place to sleep. I said, if there's anything that I can do, please give me the finances to help them. That's what I
Mm-hmm. And
pray
he will.
for.
Mm-hmm. And he
Besides
will. But
people around me, and I always ask God to walk in front of me, behind me, to the right, and to the left of me. And those
mm-hmm.
that are in my circle, I ask Him to pray for them as well. That is
Mm-hmm.
one thing, Miss Compassion, Miss Thoughtful, we do not do for our women. We do
Mm-hmm.
not do for our young men. That's why so many people are having these episodes in their life, especially the mental episodes, whereas though they cannot deal with situations, they cannot cope. It is so easy, excuse the expression, and Lord, please forgive me. It's so easy to check out of here instead of asking somebody for help.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry
Mm-hmm.
to say that, but you and I, we have seen it too often. People get into
Mm-hmm.
that depressive mode. They don't want to talk to nobody. They shut down. And I don't like it. And we got to
Mm-hmm.
change it. We have to change it. There are women in abusive situations today. They are scared to speak up because, one, maybe he's the financial provider. Maybe he's the one that keeps the kids in order. Maybe, I don't know what the circumstances is, but they need to hear somebody's voice that they're not the only one that was or is in that situation. Just
Mm-hmm.
like the situation now where we having this political battle. Who's going to be president? There's so much dialogue going on about negativity, about he's not this, she's not that, he's not. I am so sick and tired of the battles because it
Mm-hmm.
continues. It's like a curse. It's like a revolving door. When does it stop? When do
Mm-hmm.
we get to speak up and have our voice heard? When do people listen that and unite together and say, let's help one another? Let's build one another up. What can we do to help the next person get through the next day?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that away, but sometimes when you got it, when the spirit hits you, you got to speak up about it. Go ahead, ladies. Woo!
Mm-hmm. In reference to that security, keep in mind, some people don't know how to love. They don't know how to, like Miss
Yes.
Thoughtful said, they don't know how to receive your thoughtfulness. They don't know how to receive your love. Many years ago at one of my old jobs, we had a class that they gave. It was called Fish Philosophy. A lot of companies adopted this called the Fish Philosophy, and basically they was trying to teach you how not to get hooked. If you have a bad customer, a bad patient, someone with a negative, how not to get hooked. That's why it was called the Fish Philosophy. So they had all different nationalities, all different sex, and everybody in the room, and they made sure the room was very diverse, and everyone shared their stories like we're talking now. And one topic, one girl said, Caucasian girl, she said, I don't mean any harm. She said, but in my household, we don't speak to each other. She said, we don't even eat dinner together. She said, we don't even say, if you comment, whatever. She said, we don't say please, we don't say thank you. A lot of the stuff that she was saying, I had to grab my chest because I would have lost my teeth and then in my house, the way I was raised, like you said, if I was to walk in the room and I don't have to say good morning, Mr. Awful, good morning, Mr. I don't have to do that. I have to say good morning, everyone that covers the room. If I didn't do
And it was
that, my
always
grandmother
yes,
would
sir,
grab
no,
you.
sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Yes, put a handle on it because I didn't go to school with you. So don't you call me by
That's
my first
right.
name. And if I didn't speak, I didn't sleep with you last night. You got checked right
That's
then and
right.
there. And you
That's
better
right.
not. And I remember a time, but see, I remember a time when because we had Sunday dinners together. You know how they say with Big Mama, and you know what our
Yes.
entertainment was?
Yes.
Our
Oh, yes.
our entertainment was not the TV, it was not the radio, it was not your cell phone. Our entertainment was talking to each other, conversation.
That's right.
And I
That's right.
remember sitting at the dining table and my sister, I was sitting next to her, and then she wanted a piece of chicken, and she reached over me. And my grandmother, like to break her arm, she said, "If you want something, she's closer. You ask her to pass
Yes.
it to her. You never reach
Yes.
over someone else." But see, this is
That's
stuff
right.
that families taught. You know what I mean? This is stuff that
Yeah.
families. See, that was bad. We've gotten away
Family
from that.
values. Yeah.
We've gotten away from
Family
that.
values.
People, they don't eat dinner together. They on their cell phones. But to go back to the class, all I could say was wow, because I had to stop and think. You have a lot of different
Mm-hmm.
cultures in here, so you have a lot of different beliefs. You have a lot. They were raised different. You have a lot of, and you have to be open mind. You can't be judgmental.
Yeah.
You got to be open mind. You got the German woman in here. She said they don't use deodorant and stuff like that. I'm like, what? I'm like, but I can't be
Yeah.
judgmental. You know, they eat pizza with the
Yes.
fork and a knife. They don't eat it with their hand. They think that's rude if you eat pizza with your hand. See, this is all called different stuff that we have to be open mind, not being judgmental, and being able to. Because guess what?
The
Those women
diversity.
need
Yes.
those women need help too. This is not just an African American thing. Those women need help too.
Yes.
They did, some of them are getting beaten and situations they
Yes.
can't get out of,
Yes.
and pressure and life. A lot of them, yeah. So it's not. It's this
Yeah.
is. I think that this thing is not a race thing, or and you know
Mm-mm.
what?
Oh no.
Truth be
Mm-mm.
truth be told, it's not even,
This is
like I said.
global. This is
And
global.
you have men also. You have men who raising children.
Mm-hmm.
You have these single daddies now. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So before it used to be the woman with the package deal. No, you got a man now that's a package deal.
Yeah.
So do you know what I'm saying? So you have to be, it's like being open-minded to receive, accept, and just kind of pause and just
Yes.
before you judge somebody, just pause and think about it. And I always say, everybody got a story to tell. It's just whether they
Yeah.
want to share it with you or not. And you can't be mad at them if they don't. Like Miss Thoughtful said, she give you her life. She said she'd give you her life sentence, and like she said, her whole life in like 30 minutes if you just sit there and listen. I'm the opposite. I'm an introvert. I don't believe in, and once again, this go back to what I was raised. What happens in the house, stay in the house. And I
Right.
also was like taught, like, you don't go to the job telling all your business, because information is power. And these people use that information against you. They act like
Mm-hmm.
they're your
True.
friend, especially people in leadership positions. You think that they
But can I
have it
tell you
because they
something?
try to position. Mm-hmm.
I only want to say this. And even with that, with that was instilled also because I did hear that in my upbringing. But remember, like I said, I wasn't raised by my mom, so I
Right.
was
Mm-hmm.
raised by my aunt and whoever else
Mm-hmm.
and whatever else, and that was a rule of sure, no business goes out of this house. I get that,
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
but because of the abuse and because of the things that I endured, I did speak. And thank God that I did, because if I didn't and I kept what was in the house, I would have never known and been rescued from the things that I was rescued from.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I get
Mm-hmm.
that, you leave some business in the house, and that's that mentality, because again, you still come up with it, because I still instilled that in my daughter. Like, our business is not in here, but you can't make a person afraid to speak, because if they need help, then if they can't get it in house, they have to get it outside. And how they gonna get it outside if they
Right.
don't, if they
And
can't, if they can't.
let's say open up.
So if they don't feel that they are free to talk to somebody, or if they're afraid to talk to somebody, then that's where the lack of communication will come in, because they're afraid, they don't know if they should, and then they don't know if they who
Mm-hmm.
can they talk to, and what can they say, and how can they say it, and what's going to happen if they say it, and that kind of thing. So I mean, I get that, but people, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and me, my therapy was talking. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that because of me with the ability to not listen to that rule, so to speak, I was a little disobedient in that area when they said not to do it, but it saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of guided me to where I am, because if I didn't talk to people, how would they have known I needed help? How would
Exactly.
they have known that where I wasn't safe? How would they have known that what I wasn't eating? How did they know that I didn't have this? How did they know I didn't have that? So I had to share. So me now, that was instilled in me so young, so then it came with me as I got older. So then being older and going through things again, I attached to my elder. And I'm not calling you, I'm not saying you, but you or the
No.
audience, the older person, but I gravitate to older people because that's where the wisdom comes
Seasoned.
from.
I call them
So
seasoned people.
yes, very
Mm-hmm.
seasoned, and that's the thing. I learned my lesson with going to the younger or the same age kind. But again, if and I'm not saying that you have to really have been going through anything, but if you haven't been through anything, what can you tell me? If I'm going through something,
Mm-hmm.
then how can you really help me? You can just listen, you can understand, but you don't really relate. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot to go with being able to communicate to people, and now I'm choosing wisely who you share, what information you share with them and what. So
Mm-hmm.
I
I,
get
I
that
want to
because
say
even now,
something. Yes,
yes.
yes. And thank you, thank you. I just wanted to say something. Um, we all come from different eras, and I I applaud you for speaking up. Um, whereas with me, I couldn't speak up because the area where I grew up at, I was raised by my father, and it was just me and my brother and my stepmother. But my father and stepmother were alcoholics, so I grew up in an alcoholic environment. When I went to school, I tried to tell the teacher about the abuse in my house. And when I tried to tell the teacher, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a Caucasian teacher, but it was the way that they asked me, okay, you got something to say? What's going on? Why you ain't doing this? Why you ain't doing your homework? Why you ain't doing this? I felt as though I was getting scolded by that person. And I felt afraid to speak up
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so for years, I let everything go on because when I tried it numerous times, I didn't feel as though it was being reciprocated by the school. We didn't have DHS at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't no one to go to. It wasn't, I didn't have an aunt, I didn't have an uncle, I didn't have nobody to go to. And my sister, who I tried to talk to about what was going on, she was like, "Oh, you ain't supposed to be talking about what goes on in the house and all this and that." And I'm like, "Huh?" And now I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest of 14. And I'm like, "But I'm asking you for help." And I think I was about 8 years old. Nobody would listen to me. So I'm asking you, ladies, when you're in that predicament and you're trying to get help and you feel as though that nobody's listening, what do you do? Do you conceal it? Do eventually, I'm going to be honest with you, I ran away from home because I got tired of it. So I went to go stay with my mom. My parents
Mm-hmm.
got divorced when I was 4.5. But that was my only outlet. So what do you do?
In my case, I'm gonna say, uh, I winged it at times, right?
Mm-hmm.
I winged it, and the Lord covered me. And I just have to keep saying that because even at the times that I didn't pray and ask for direction, or He put something in my path that would protect me, guide me, lead me, hold me, whatever He needed to do or whatever was done. Um, it happened the way it happened. Because I mean, the way He chose it to happen, even in the free will of giving it to me and let me do it my way for a little while. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I survived that, even if that wasn't the right way. So
Right.
I'm not saying I survived it myself. He helped me through. He got me through that, but He allowed me
Mm-hmm.
to make that choice and do it and see, and then turn back to Him. So at the end of the day, I had to remember who to ask, where am I supposed to be, so that I can get that direction. So again, with grace and mercy that I've learned and that I feel that I look back over to see that that's exactly what it was and what it is and what
Mm-hmm.
it will be. And again, not and I'm not saying that I'm, all, and no disrespect or religious, but I'm just saying the Lord has kept me even when I didn't deserve to be kept.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just a little bit, I'm blessed. So that's how I
Amen.
made it. That's how I
You
made it.
are.
That's how we made it,
You are.
because of not even, you think about it, about all the weight that's on your shoulders and all of why. But if you look back on it, you still standing, you still
Mm-hmm.
able to do, you're still doing. So apparently, I mean, you're just a
We're
little tired.
survivors.
We're just tired, but that's okay. We're going to get our break soon, Miss Jane. We're going to get a break, and we're going to take advantage of that. But see, that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. We have to learn how to. Oh, we have to learn how to take advantage of opportunities when given.
Yes. Yes.
So with that being said, the trials and tribulations that have put me to where I am right now have all been learning experiences, have been strengthening and growth experiences, have been, all kinds of experiences, because it's God allowing you to make the decisions, make the mistakes, make no regret. No regret. Don't regret anything that you've done in life to now today. It's always been something that you have learned from, or you can grow from, or if you're still in it, then that means you ain't get something from it. So that means that you have to stay in it until you get it. So until
Oh, yes.
You
so
do.
until then,
That is
we're
so
gonna keep
true.
on keeping on, and we're gonna do what we say we can't do, because we can do it. That's it.
Elevation. He doesn't elevate you until you get it. You're right. You don't
There you
pass the
go.
test
You
until
can't
you
move
get it.
on, and you can't want something more if you can't take what you got. So if you
Mm.
can't do that, then I don't know what else to tell you, but I'm gonna continue to try and keep on doing and exceed more than he thinks that I'm not going to. And I ain't talking about he is the Lord, I'm talking about he and man. Because man don't think I'm gonna make it, but I am.
Mhm.
No, but we have you. We have you. We have you.
And
And we
keep in
touch you every day. We know
mhm.
you're going to make it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And keep in mind, hurt people hurt people. So
Yes.
that's what you have to keep that in mind. That person that hurt you, they were hurt. Someone hurt them. So the process just keeps going. It just keeps
Yes.
going. It really
And
just keeps.
it's funny
And
you
guess
say that.
what? When you don't get that help, when you don't get that
Yes.
help, that's why it
Uh-huh.
just keeps going. It just keeps going. And guess what?
All right,
It
so I
can
got a
even go
question.
out. It can go
Listen,
outside the home.
let me
Isn't
ask you this
that what we're
question real quick.
talking about? That cycle?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
But let me ask this
Hmm.
question before I forget, because y'all know my brain. When you say hurt people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a true fact. But let me ask this question, because I'm a little stumped, because I'm a hurt person, but I don't choose to hurt the next person. I'm looking for a different affection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hurt. I hurt, but I still want to love. So the person, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm making sense here, but
You are, but
okay.
be
At the
careful.
end
You
of the
got
day, I'm
other.
not saying that again, and being hurt doesn't mean that I mean, I've been vulnerable before. I've made mistakes
Hmm.
before. I've moved fast before. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's still being hurt and numb at the same time. Sometimes you can not know signs of things until you're
Mm-hmm.
too far into
Yes.
it that you don't know how to get out of it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That
And
kind of thing.
sometimes
Hmm.
you can. I understand what you're saying. Sometimes you don't intentionally hurt someone,
Right.
Correct.
Right.
and
Correct.
Right.
you hurt them. So that's not your game
Right.
plan to do it, but you did
Right.
it. And
Right.
sometimes, guess what? If a person doesn't speak up, you don't even know you hurt them.
Exactly.
Correct.
Okay.
So
Right.
you see what I
Right.
Correct.
mean? But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So you have to be
Yeah.
very cautious. Like how you felt when you were hurt.
You're
So you
right.
have to
Yes.
be
Exactly.
very careful. I don't want somebody to ever
Of
feel that
course.
hurt that I felt.
Right.
I don't want nobody
Exactly.
to ever experience that.
Yeah.
So my job for me to play my part is to never make somebody feel like I felt like that. That's
Yeah.
not.
Because
I
that's
want
a
to be the.
lasting impression. That's a lasting
Yep.
impression you're going to
Mhm.
give them. And they say
Mhm.
that's a bad taste that you're going to leave in somebody else. And you don't
Mhm.
want to do
Mhm.
that,
You don't.
because
Ladies,
once those words, if we think it, we should not speak it
we
if
shouldn't
it's
speak it.
negative.
Right.
Mhm.
But
I
Because
if
you
gotta,
we
can
I
get back.
gotta,
speak it,
Lee, I'm sorry. I have to go. I'm sorry, because
no.
I thought we was going to be finished by now, but my brother is waiting for me. I
Oh
apologize.
no, no. Miss Thoughtful, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
And we have more to talk about. Miss
Okay.
Compassionate, if you still willing to be with me, we still can continue.
I love you.
Okay.
I love you, ladies. Have a great
Okay, we
night.
love you too.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay,
Wait, I
All right,
can't.
sunshine.
okay.
All right.
Thank you, Miss Compassionate. Thanks for still staying with me. We'll be wrapping up shortly. I just want to say, I just want other people to realize that they don't have to stay silent, that
Mhm.
they can let their voice be heard. Don't be like I did and let years go by and
Mhm.
be, fearful of speaking up, you
Right.
know. Um And I think I didn't speak up because I was scared of retaliation. I was scared, oh my God, the teacher's going to call my dad, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to get a whipping when I get home. So I think I was thinking about all that what could have happened if things, if I had spoke up.
Mm-hmm. But once again,
So
it's like
I didn't feel
in
as though I
life
had a
when
safe
you
house.
right in life, you know how the old saying goes, when you know better, you do better.
Yes.
At that time, like you said, all of the stuff and resources and help that are today, that was not available at that time. So
No.
you didn't have that, and you weren't taught that you can go get help. You weren't taught that. So and then when you tried to get the help, it was not received. So therefore,
Yes.
you felt like your back was against the wall. So you did the best thing that you knew how to do. Once again, what you knew how to do, and that was run away. Where
Yes.
when you know better, you do better. Now, as an adult or older in life, here we are
Mm-hmm.
today. Fast forward, you would handle that another way, because now, number
Yes.
one, not only do you have the resources, but you have the experience, the wisdom, and of life, where I can get help. I can go
Yes.
to the authority. I can. You can seek
Yes.
sisters like me or other people that will help you.
Yes.
See, that
Yes.
wasn't there. That was not available to you then, but it's
No.
available now. Like you said, that was a different time. We all are different stages, like Miss Thorfels,
Mm-hmm.
being some years younger. So therefore,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't have to experience that, but she did have her share, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, of challenges.
Yes.
And I really think that, the old saying again that says, that's why I love old people, because the nuggets that they be dropping on you, that if you just listen, you'll learn. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But it's like, how can you have a testimony without a test? So
Mm-hmm.
all that she went through, and that's not even half her life, but all that she went through, and I wanted to share with her, and I had that opportunity. She didn't
Yes.
go through that for her. She went through that for somebody else. That he's going to
Thank
put in
you.
her. He's going to put in her life so that she can share that sister, and she can tell her, this is what XYZ I did and how I made it over. So she didn't go through that for her. And that's why I
Mm-hmm.
want to encourage her, just keep telling your story and keep on,
Yes.
keep being that ray of sunshine. Keep, you know what I mean? Trust me, I
Yes.
promise you, it's not, somebody is reaping the benefits of your experience. Unfortunately,
Yes.
like you didn't go through that for you. You went through that for somebody else. And that's
Somebody
what I think
else.
when we
Yes.
go through in life, we're going through it for somebody. We just have to just hang in. Like, you know, I had sisters encourage me with my situation. Hang in there. You
Yes.
got this. Pick up the phone, call me whenever you need it out or whatever. What do you need? You need help or something? Just let you know. But and
Yeah.
then I know, and and sometimes again, it may not be loved ones. It may not be your family. It's whoever your help comes from the weirdest places.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
The weirdest
Mm.
places, the
Yours.
places that you least expect, those people come and help you.
Mm-hmm.
They
You
come
are
and help
so
you,
true.
and
You are so true.
all you can do is thank the Lord for the help and keep going. But it
Yes.
comes from the weirdest places.
But
It
you got
does.
to
It's
pay
not
it forward, though. You got to pay it
you.
forward. So that means you
Absolutely.
got to continue. If you're a humble person and God
Mm-hmm.
has given you that creative vision, do
Absolutely.
something to help, you know, uh, have them as again, help them get over that hump in their life to see a better tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think
Like
it
Miss
would be
Thoughtful.
right,
I
and I would
mean,
think
if
it'd be selfish if she went through that and held all that in and didn't share that. It'd be,
yes,
you see what I'm saying? Where she could help. Her story is going to deliver and help somebody else and encourage them.
yes,
Because they say, "Wow, I'm not in this alone. Hey, I'm not the only one that experienced." Or
no,
I was at a woman's retreat once, and the sister got to testifying, and then this lady that was a couple rows up stood up and started crying, burst out. She said, "She's telling my story." Like, you see what I'm saying? It was like everything this woman is saying, she is
mm-hmm.
like their lives. They were going through the same thing.
The
So I
same
said,
thing.
just imagine how that lady now stood up and started testifying. That
Yes,
lady was sat there. She said, "I would not have stood up had she not." She stood up and just like she's telling my story. It was like, wow. But had she not stood
because
up
of that fear. That
and
fear. It's the
mm-hmm,
stigma that we have implanted on everyone.
And also
that
about
if you,
they feel embarrassed also.
yes,
The
yes,
embarrassment.
yes. But you know what? Someone said to me the other day, I'd rather tell you everything you need to know about me so no one can come to you and tell you something that I haven't already told you.
Mm-hmm.
So your mouth won't open up like, wow, he did this or she did that, or uh she got locked up or he got locked up,
Mm-hmm.
or do
Mm-hmm.
you know that, I mean, her son is in jail, and or her son, is a womanizer, he beats on his
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend. If there's something you need to know, I'm an open book. I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it, just like Miss Thoughtful,
Mm-hmm.
she'll give you 30 minutes and tell you her whole story. Well, I think I need about 2 hours, and I'll tell you my whole story. But we all have a story to tell. The
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
benefit of it is, Miss Compassionate, is what value is it in sharing with someone?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the value in it. And
Mm-hmm.
what is the learning experience that they
Mm-hmm.
are going to take away from it and apply it to themselves?
Mm-hmm. Because you want them
So
to do that.
you, yes, you can sit here and I could talk for 2 hours, okay, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can walk out the door, and what have you learned from that? How is that going to apply to you? Because
Mm-hmm.
you and I both know I don't want to sit here and waste my time, and I don't want you to waste your time with me.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel as though that you want to listen to me, I want to
Mm-hmm.
hear your story, Miss Compassionate. I want to hear Miss Thoughtful story, because you know why?
Mm-hmm.
It applies to me. And I
Mm-hmm.
can feel better when I go out and I talk to another young lady or somebody, or someone my age, and be like, look, you know what? I don't know what you're going through, but I can kind of identify that you need some support. So what
Mm-hmm.
can I do to help you? I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you, like you said, we didn't have the resources back then. We have them
Mm-hmm.
now, and by us communicating and leaning on one another, we know how to direct other people to get what they need.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
And I,
people don't want to. A lot of people don't want to get involved either. I don't
yes,
know what. And see, and my children, they jump on me. They jump on me because they say she's always in somebody else's business. Number one, she's always talking to everybody. And then they say what my daughter called me, Captain Save. You always want to save. I said it's not that. I just don't.
it's
I
not
said, you
that.
know what? Being an older woman,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the women I work with are young children, my children's age.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't like I'm more of a mother figure than a sister figure. I'm more of a mother figure, and it's obvious. And like case in point, this week, I had two young ladies. And this is the childishness thing. One, and this is, and I'm real. This the story is just childish, but this is the case in point. The one girl left the cabinet open, the other girl hit her head on it. So
Mm.
but she banged it and hurt it pretty hard. But the girl that left the cabinet open, she was on the earpiece talking to her girlfriend, laughing, haha, my coworker hit her head, Like, and they play around these two all the time. All day they play around now. The one who
Mm-hmm.
hit her head, she didn't find it funny because she hit it pretty hard. So now she's upset because she felt like you're on the phone with your friend laughing about me hitting my head. You didn't even turn around and see was I okay, and you didn't even apologize. That
Mm.
so she was upset for that, and now she's holding that instead of her saying that to her. She should have immediately said to her, I don't think that's fun. In other words, you can't. That's what I mean about when you hold stuff, and she's holding that in instead of letting her know. They can talk about trash all day long, but she couldn't even say to her, I'm hurt, and you didn't even check on me. And then the one who did laugh, she should have said, well, I'm sorry. I'm not making fun. I'm just like, me and my friend, we like, talking about, I didn't know you were seriously hurt. They should have talked about it immediately. Well, this
Yes,
this went
yes.
on for about a week, and now mind you, it went on. This is how childish they were. This went on for about a week. They're not even talking to each other. The one girl comes in, she don't speak to nobody. She just comes in and so The girl, the one, so the other day, Tuesday, before we get ready to
So the
leave, the girl,
hostility is building up in them.
yep. And I kept saying, I'm not gonna get involved. Just let it play itself out. And what happened is she shuts the door. The one who was laughing on the phone with her girlfriend, she shuts the door and she says, I have something to say. So she says to the girl, do you have something? Did I do something to you? Did I, offend you? She said, because you had this very negative energy that you've been passing around. She said, you haven't been talking to me. You haven't spoken to me. She said, you came in and she said, you didn't even say good morning, Miss Compassion. And she didn't even do nothing to you. She said, you didn't. I said, oh, no. So she talking, they going back and forth. Well, now, even though this started out very immature, um, even though it started out very immature, it was healthy because they both expressed it. The reality where they start talking, going back and forth, and truth was coming out. And I'm just listening, and I'm listening, and then it kind of went left. But I said that's healthy when you can talk about I can tell you, you
Yes.
hurt me. I can tell you I'm offended by your loud voice. I can tell you, and you shouldn't be, like I tell people all the time, I can receive personal criticism. I have to work on giving it. But I can receive it if you tell me I don't like the way you. Okay, I'm thinking about it. So long story short, they got to talking, but I saw the conversation going left, and that's when I got involved. And I said, "Can I say something?" I said, "Now you two can tell me go over there and mind my business, and I will. It's not a problem." I said, "But from an older woman's perspective, I said, let me give you case in point. If she falls right now, and I'm not in this room, if she passed out right now, and she can't breathe, would you help her?" She said, yes. I said, vice versa. Would you? I said, so why are we having this? I said, see what
Right.
I'm saying? You see how you still have each other? I said, why don't you apologize? It was an accident. It kind of brewed and got out of hand. I said, but at the end of the day, we're in a really tight spot here. You guys got to work together. You have to respect each other. That's first and foremost. You got to respect each other. But I just took that opportunity, like I said, and that's what I do during the day. It's like mama come in and said, my daughter gets mad. She said, there you go again. But it's not that. All I look at it is, I'm just trying to bring peace. And I'm trying to let them
Right.
see, like you were saying earlier, how we got an election right here on the line that's about some serious real stuff happening, and you guys are complaining about you arguing and not speaking about this little childish stuff. We got some life-changing decisions in a couple more weeks that's about to happen and affect this whole world, and you sitting
Yes.
here. No, look at the big picture, guys. Let that go. Apologize and move on. A
Yes.
couple days went by, whatever, they start small
Yeah.
talking to each other or whatever, and I left it alone.
And,
But
and you know what, Miss Compassionate? I just want to say one thing. I we as a society will go to church and listen to the pastor, correct?
mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll go to school and listen to the teacher, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We'll sit in a movie theater and listen to the critics, right? And
Mm-hmm.
watch a movie. Okay. We'll go to a stage play and enjoy the stage play.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to a public speaking, whether it's at a library or something. We'll go to, to hear somebody talk about, money matters or how to build a business and things like that. So how come when we want to speak upon how to build one another up as a society, that we are looked upon, just like you just said, you're the savior. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, excuse the expression, but where does it start?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you had a group of people, whether it's 2 people, 5 people, and they listen to you, you're not telling them anything that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're just reinforcing what is right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just giving them knowledge and wisdom of, how to go about doing something. And it's
I
the
think
same
you.
thing as if you go to church. It's the same thing you go to school. So what difference does it make where the information comes from, as long as it's
Mm-hmm.
being received appropriately?
I think that seed of jealousy, that ugly seed of jealousy, plays a very key part too. It is. It's an ugly seed. I can't celebrate you. Instead, you know what I mean? Because you're elevating, and I can't celebrate. I should be able to celebrate you You bought a house, and you accepted the Lord. Your children got saved. Your children graduated. Your children, I should be able to celebrate you. I
Yes.
should be able to, and even if my life right now is on hold or at a standstill, I know my blessing is coming or whatever. But I
Yeah.
should be able to celebrate you. I should be able to
Yes.
share, and you but that seed of jealousy really holds a lot of people back, and it really and a lot of people hide behind it. They really hide behind it. And they do a good job. They do a really good job.
Yeah, they do. They
They
do.
do an awesome where you don't even know that they're daggering you in your back, and they smile in your face, but they daggering you back. They do a good camouflage job trying to act like they have your best interest at heart. That's why we can't celebrate each other, and that's why we can't, like you said, lift each other up. It's that crab mentality. Remember how they said, as soon as you get to the top of the pot, I'm pulling you down, and then I get to
Yeah.
the top, you pull, and so therefore, guess what? Nobody gets out the pot because we're constantly
Mm-hmm.
pulling each other down. Instead of
Yes.
celebrating and elevating
They'll
and encouraging
celebrate and
each other,
elevate one another.
yeah, and pushing, and you know what I'm saying? It's sad. But if we can do that, like and that's what I try to show them every day. And
Right.
I make fun of them. I tell them, let me tell you, you guys on this side of the work. I said, I'm over here, get ready, check out of here. I'm getting ready
Mm-hmm.
to retire. I said, you guys ain't even put a dent in the work field. I said, so if I can
Right.
share a little bit with you guys and tell you, just listen. I keep trying to tell them, I listen to old people. They drop in nuggets. You better listen. I said, because
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I said, they have gone where you are trying to go. So if they can save you some heartache, some pit stops,
Yes.
some,
Oh my
listen,
goodness.
listen, how much it's going to cost you to listen, right? How
Nothing.
much is going to, you're right.
Nothing.
Listen. You could either take that advice or you could, throw it away, but it's your choice. That's the
Mm-hmm.
key. It's your choice. We all have the choice. And whatever you do, at the end of the day, it's your choice what you do, what
And
you decide.
a lot of people think that you have to have a PhD, MD, uh, whatever, be doctorate degree behind your name in order for them to listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like you. I would rather listen to someone that has been through the trenches,
Mm-hmm.
that can give me wisdom and experience, than to
Mm-hmm.
listen, excuse expression, and this is no reflection to our listeners on anyone young, but someone that is in their 20s and 30s cannot tell me how to live my life when you're just starting to live your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need someone that's a little bit older than me to guide me because they have seen what I am about to see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
So
agree.
that's how you build one another up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go to somebody that, is under you, way up under you. You
Mm-hmm.
want to go to somebody that is above you because they are the ones that have already tested the water and tell you, okay, don't go over there in that river. Don't go down that road because that road is this is going to lead you to, not so happy places.
Right.
Okay, I respect that. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you for the education of guiding me in the right direction. But why don't we do that? We don't do that enough.
No.
I mean, what is it? Ordinary people, you don't think that we have the wisdom? You don't think that we have the knowledge? I mean, we're
Mm-hmm.
here talking today about how we have survived our trials and tribulations from our childhood, from our young adulthood to our adulthood to our season area in life where we're at. How we have survived. And you know
Mm-hmm.
what? None of us are bitter. We're
No.
humble. We're humble.
And we're
We're
still
we're
learning.
we're still learning. Thank
Still
you.
learning.
We're
Still
still
learning.
learning. We keep open minds because there's always room for us to expand our horizon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
And
you
that's
gotta,
how I look at it. And that's
yep,
how I
you
want
gotta want to.
people in the world to see that, you know what, there is other opportunities. There's other opportunities besides being on, medication to say, you know what, I can't, there's no hope. There is hope.
Mm-hmm.
Find somebody that you can just gravitate to, that has that same magnetic energy that you two, and let them be that person to help you get out of that place where so you don't feel comfortable. And we talked about therapy. If you have to see a therapist, see a therapist. There's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. Some
It's
therapists
okay.
can be your best friends, but I will tell you, and I think we've already discussed this, I want a therapist that has already exceeded life, whereas though they can teach me something. I don't want somebody that's, I go in and, you're 22 years old and, you don't know a jack about what I'm talking about. That's not going to help me. That's a waste of my copay. I want somebody that, I can relate to, that, you may not have been in the same situation, but you have helped people that have been in a situation because you've been around long enough to hear it.
And at the end of the day, it's like that person has to want the help. I can want it all day for you, but if you don't want it for you, and that's why
If you
you
don't
have to
want it
be
for yourself,
got to be very careful, because you can be, it's called burnout or drain yourself, because I want something better for you than you want for yourself. Like I
right?
wanted my dad to walk again. I wanted it, and the pastors at the church told me, they said, you want him to walk better than he wants it for himself. He has to want it. He has to. You can't. I mean,
You have to have that fight within you.
it's like I'm doing the therapy. I'm getting the people. Even the therapist told me he's giving up. She said he's not going. He has given up. So you have to face that. He has given up. His legs are weak. It is what it is. And so I had to, it tore me up, because who wants to, you don't want that. You want to
No.
try to give. There's that giving again. I want to give till I
Yep.
can't give no more. Just give, give. Okay, some stuff is out of your hands. Some stuff you can't handle. Some stuff is not for you. That's another thing we have to be careful. You got to be careful when you ask the Lord for these assignments, or when the Lord do give you assignments and stuff like that. You got to be careful, because we pick up some stuff that the Lord didn't tell us to pick up. And then you sit
Yeah.
back and you wonder, how come you so burnt out? Because he says, I didn't give you that, Miss Compassion. After you pay, you were supposed to walk by that, but you stopped, and here you go. Miss Captain say, here you go. I didn't tell you that. You were supposed to walk by that one. That one wasn't for you. So you have to be careful, and that's why I asked okay, Lord, what do you want me to do with this? And you got a list, because he answers us. He show us and he answers. You just have to be willing to listen and be
Yeah.
obedient and be in tune, like Miss Thorfulness said earlier. You got to be in tune with him. So when he talking to you and he telling you, I didn't tell you to pick that up. Let that one go.
That's right.
That's somebody else's. That's not for you. That's someone else's
That's right.
assignment. You keep going. I got your assignment coming. You just keep going. You got to be careful, because then you'll find yourself saying, oh, I'm so burnt out. Oh, because you're taking on stuff that the Lord didn't give you to take on. I don't think, yes, he does not give us more than we can bear. I do believe that. But some of the stuff I think we get burnt out for, because you keep trying to spread yourself so thin. So thin. You got to be careful. You spread yourself so thin. Remember, I told you how the doctor told me, my primary, she had me make a list. Make a list. Put on that list everything you do. She said, one day, I just want you one day, everything you do and everybody you care for and everybody you love, whatever. Do you know, she went over that list and she said, we're on this list. I said, what do you mean I'm nowhere on the list? I made the list. She said, but you know we're on this list. You're taking care of everybody but you. You are nobody. See, it took her to point that out to me. She said,
That's
you are
right.
nowhere on this list. She said, how are you going to pour into somebody empty? She said, right now, you're an empty cup. How are you going to pour in? She said, every now and then you got to park into the gas station. She said, baby, and fuel up. She said, you can't just you got to relax. And unfortunately, women, that's a learned behavior. Some of us don't know how to relax. We don't know how to unwind.
We don't. We don't.
Because we're so used to going and going and going. We don't know how to. And unfortunately, no disrespect to the men out here, but I'm just noticing, like, society, when we have a lot of women that's stepping into the captain chair and they taking it and they have no choice. And so then they're playing both roles.
They're
And
playing both roles.
and it's
Right.
not meant to, life is God. The Lord didn't make that. It's not meant to be that way, but they have no choice. So they're sitting in that
Right.
hot seat playing both. That right there in itself is draining.
That is draining. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I wanted to state, I didn't state this in the beginning, but I consider myself to be a magnanimous type of woman.
Mm-hmm.
And a magnanimous woman is a resilient woman that is generous and forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Compassionate, this is my view of you. I consider you to be a resilient woman that is very compassionate and empathetic. And for Miss Thoughtful, I consider her to be a resilient woman who is considerate of others' needs. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't say that in the beginning, but you have defined my beliefs of how I feel about you too. I think that, seeing you, not really having in-depth conversations with you, but just in passing and those little words that we say to one another, it makes a difference in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that what you do in your industry of healthcare, I know you're making a difference in other people's life. And I just want to commend you for hanging in there. I want to thank you for being that trophy personnel, that, you know, you you don't give up. I mean, it's like we're on a dartboard, and
Mm-hmm.
people just keep throwing those darts at us, keep throwing those darts at us, but they miss us. They keep throwing the darts, but they're missing us. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's
That's because
because we cover ourselves with faith,
mm-hmm.
with respect for one another, and we have this shield that no one can get through to harm us, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how much they try. Oh, they tried.
Mm-hmm.
They tried.
Well, that's why, and that's just to keep the Lord told us that the
Mm-hmm.
weapons were formed. Remember, He said they're going to form,
Yes.
but He said they will not prosper. So you got to
Yes.
keep in mind every time they throw in the dart, you just
Mm-hmm.
smile because it's not going to prosper. For every little bad thing that they trying to hit you with to diminish your character, to diminish you, who you are, to dim your
Yeah.
light, you got to smile because you know why? Remember, it's not going to that they would again, that's your fan club. That's your fan
Yes.
club. They're going to keep you popular. They
Mm-hmm.
are going to keep you I'm telling you, they're going to and they don't even know it. That's the sad part. So you want to think they don't even know it that they keeping you popular. They don't
Yeah.
even know it. And for everything that they mean evil, people are looking at you and you coming with that big smile that you have every day and you sitting there quiet and humble and they pass by you and they see that smile. And for every dart that came, that smile, boom, it
Mm.
didn't happen. Every time you show them teeth and you smile and you sitting at that and you smile, I'm telling you, every dart coming your way. As soon as you open that your mouth and you start smiling, that dart it just
It
hit the ground.
falls. It falls.
It,
It's like it doesn't even hit the board. It falls.
yep, yep, and it's going
Yeah.
to keep doing that. You just keep smiling. You keep smiling and you
Yeah.
keep being encouraged and you keep. I'm telling you, just like when I walk by you and sometimes you're busy and you can't, like you said, you're in your work or whatever, and you smile.
Yeah.
I said she saw me, okay, and I
Yeah.
keep moving, because
Yeah.
that's what I say. Just keep smiling. She saw me. She working. She doing what she get here for. She get paid to do, but she saw me. I try to encourage. Stay encouraged. Keep smiling. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Sometimes your smile, again, that's people. We're like you said, we're in a health field, and we're in a health field.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, sometimes the health field can be sad. You know what I'm
It can be
saying? Because
sad.
what's
Yeah.
around us. But when you smile like again, you're like Miss Thoughtful. When you smile, that may be the only smile that they see all day,
Mm-hmm.
especially
That they see
especially the
all
seniors.
day.
Somebody just saw the doctor or whatever. Somebody just saw, and they came out with some bad news. And then
Yeah.
here you go smiling. That's that hope. They see that smile.
That's
That's
that
that
hope.
hope. That little smile that you gave them hope. And
Yes.
then they got that to hold on to. That
Mm-hmm.
little bit, the little stuff. It's the little stuff for me.
It's that little stuff.
It's the little
Yes.
stuff for me.
Yeah. That captures, because you know what? When I close my eyes at night, after I say my prayers and thank God for everything, I think about all those happy moments I had embraced throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
I think about that person, that hug that Miss Thoughtful gave me. I think about the hug that you gave me, the smile. I think about, you know, how I made you feel,
Mm-hmm.
when maybe when I bought the donuts and the pastries, and although I know that, it was wrong, but because we joked about it, but I just
Mm-hmm.
think about, you know what? I'm so happy that I made somebody smile today.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think about the patients that come through and they get a cup of coffee, and they was like, well, I'm thank goodness that you have this coffee here because I couldn't afford it. And I said, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can't afford it either, but I'm glad that we have it for you. So please,
Mm-hmm.
anytime it's here, you're more than welcome to have some. So I try
Mm-hmm.
not to make anyone feel not valued. And because we don't know what the underlying circumstances that they're going through, just like I don't know the underlying circumstances when half of us leave work, what we got to go home and face. Some of us go
Mm-hmm.
home, we don't have electricity on. Some of us don't have water. Some of us are sleeping in our car. We don't know what all the
Mm-hmm.
circumstances. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, some things are not for us to know.
Right.
But for those things that we can try to help you with, just ask. That's all I say. I
Yes.
know some people are private. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying that we have more resources today. If we can't find you the answer, then we're going to find somebody who can get you the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that our hearts go above and beyond, like your children say, mom, you're not the savior. But you know what? How do they know you are not supposed to be the savior?
Mm-hmm.
How do they
My
know
dad
that
told.
God hasn't ordained you to that's your calling? You're my
Mm-hmm.
angel, you're my savior angel. How do we know that, that's not what your calling is?
Mm-hmm. Some people, once again, like I said, there's those old people again. My dad used to always tell me, if you can't, and it stays with me. Like, if you can't, Dad used to always say, if you can't help the people, don't hurt them. So, in other
Right.
words, if I can't help you, it's no sense in me hanging around pouring negativity in you or making your situation
Right.
worse.
Right.
If I can't help you, don't hurt you. Don't hurt them. He always
Because
said, and
when
then he,
they're ready to talk to you, or when they're
they
ready to
will.
get help, they will. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. And you're right.
They
I don't
will.
force anything on nobody. When they're ready, sometimes it may take a week, a month, 2 months, maybe even a year before they realize I need help.
Mhm.
I should have asked for it a while ago. And I don't know why I had that stumbling block and I didn't ask for it, but I'm asking for it now. It doesn't matter when you ask for it, as long as you identify that you need it before it gets too late.
Mhm. Mhm. That even goes for like our I wouldn't want to be have a teenage child today for nothing. Just today. I'm so glad I'm done with that part. But it's funny because being a grandma, technically speaking, I'm revisiting it again because I'm just in a different seat. I'm a
Right.
grandma instead of that being. But I remember raising my daughter. And my daughter shared a story with me. She said, and we laugh about it today, but at that time, it really hurt me because I'm trying to do the best I can as a female mom, raising you as a female, pouring
Yeah.
into you, and you're not receiving nothing I'm saying. I'm telling you, save yourself for your husband. You want to do this, you want to dress this way, you want to do this, you want to do that.
Yeah.
As a young lady, people respect you. I'm pouring all of this
You
into
got to
her.
respect yourself. You
This
got to
girl is
respect yourself.
this girl is not receiving nothing I'm saying. However, check this out. We go to church. She signs up for a program at my church called PHAT, PHAT, Precious Holy African Treasures. The sisters there said everything I said. She received it from them. So I said, thank you,
Praise
Lord,
the
she
Lord.
received it. I said, no, man, it didn't come from me, but she received it. And that's the key. She received it, right?
He
It doesn't
received
matter
it.
how she
Yes.
received it, she received it.
Mm,
So she
that's
listens
right.
to these sisters. These sisters were younger than me, but she received it. They were older than her, but they were younger than me. But she received it from them, and they were teaching our young ladies how a young lady's supposed to dress modest, how you're supposed to carry yourself, how you should, but she
Yes.
received it. It doesn't matter how, she just received it. I was
He
grateful.
received it. Amen. Amen. That's a testimony right there. Lord have mercy. Yes.
So that's
Yes.
that.
And how's she doing today?
Oh, listen, she 5 kids in, and she got a husband. And look, she 5 kids in, she got a husband, and listen, and she now that's her. She got the teenager.
Yes. Now she knows what mom was saying to her.
Yep. Now I just laugh. I laugh because I say, boy, because every generation,
Mm-hmm.
but she blessed. She's
Yes.
blessed. See, we're all blessed. Trust me, like we all said earlier, we're still here, we're still breathing. We may not be where we want to be, but again, if we just keep planning and keep moving, if we go in the wrong way, the Lord knows how to turn us around and put us right back on
Yes, he
track.
does. Yes, he
But
does. He
the
knows
key
how
is,
to pause and park
hmm
us, doesn't he?
the key is
Mm-hmm.
just to keep moving. Don't do
That's
nothing.
right.
Keep moving. That's the key. Keep
Mhm.
moving.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Miss Compassionate, I just want to thank you. I know this evening we've uncovered powerful insights into resilience and the incredible strength of women navigating life's tribulations. I just want to thank you and Miss Thoughtful for just sharing your journey and wisdom with us. And as we get ready to close, I just want to advise our listeners. We encourage you to reflect on your own experiences and share your stories of survival with us if you would like to.
Hmm.
I'm hoping that, next week I can have Miss Compassionate back and Miss Thoughtful to give more insight on additional topics because there's so much out there that we have to share. We can't get it all in one episode, but there's
Hmm.
so many topics, there's variations of different situations, and
Hmm.
exploring stories and perspectives that inspire and empower us. So I would really like to have you two back. And we ask that, our listeners, please don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with anyone who might benefit from these discussions. Miss Compassionate, I'm going to ask something unusual that I do not usually ask of our presenters, but would you close us out in prayer for tonight?
Absolutely. And I would like to say, just at the bottom, if we reach just one
Mm-hmm.
person we reach and we kind of touch them in a way where a light bulb went on, a tear shed, or they felt the love that we were throwing through the line, then we've done our job.
We've done our job. Amen.
we've, done,
Yes,
we've,
yes.
we've done our job. Father God, in the name of Jesus, I come before you now saying thank you. Thank you for the opportunity,
Thank
Lord, to share your words, Lord, your words, your wisdom, the nuggets that you poured into each one of us. Thank you for opening our hearts and giving us allowing us to not feel selfish, to take from our schedule to share, to help save, to help to share wisdom with another brother, sister, teen, whoever of all
you.
nationality,
Yes, Lord.
globe, Father God, that's going through it. It's not just us, but the whole world is going through tribulation. I thank you for allowing us to share these stories to help someone else. To, as she said, the sister said, pay it forward, Lord. Help us to continue to do so. Help us to continue to do your work. Help us to continue to seek you first so that you will guide us to help us to do the right thing. Help us to stay in your will and your way, Lord. Continue to guide our feet and give us your strength. And may you get all the honor and all the glory. It's in your name we pray. We love you, Lord Jesus, and thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Miss Compassionate.
No, thank
Again,
you. Thank you for
and
having me.
I've been trying not to tear up tonight. Lord, this has been touching my heart. Oh,
Thank you.
there's so much that we have to share and get out.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
want to thank you for your time. I know you work today, and I want to thank you for your time. We all work today, but
Mhm.
just
Yes,
thank
we are.
you because I needed to hear certain things, and I needed to let certain things go. And
So did I. So did we all. Mhm.
yeah, and when I see you next week, I just need a big hug.
And you got it. You got it.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
you tell Miss Thoughtful I need that hug too.
Yes,
Okay. We gotta
absolutely.
stick together. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
We're gonna double team you. Absolutely.
Yes.
You get the
All
hugs. Some
right.
two hugs coming from both ways.
God bless, and I'll talk to you later.
God bless you. Have a good evening.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.